Shut up, Simon.
What's happening, y'all? We back in this bitch. Y'all know who it is. Simon U. I wish I thought of a rhyme quick enough, so that would have been a much cooler intro. What's going on, y'all? We here another week. Shut up, Simon. I'm back, fresh off a camping trip, my very first camping trip. So I done slept outside before, but for the past couple days, me, my girl, and our two homies, we were out doing some proper camping. You know what I'm saying? Building a fire. You know what I'm saying? Mushroom s'mores, the whole nine. And it was cool. It was cool. I was a little nervous at first because our two homies, they white. And considering all the movies that I done seen and the history of white people killing black people in the woods, I was a little nervous. But then I thought, though, if we was to run into some angry white mountain men, who better to be with than they less angry white cousins? You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? I chilled out. I'm just playing, bro. I love my white homies, bro. But it was fun. It was hella fun. It was relaxing. And we back in the biddy with it. And this week for y'all, I got a very interesting, very thought-provoking conversation with one of my best friends, my brother from another, HughEP, musical, visual artist, strategic genius. This is one of the few homies that I have whose opinions and whose critiques and whose insight I seek and I value. He's a mind that I very much appreciate. I've known this motherfucker for about 10 years. We both from the A. I ain't meet him though until we were both students at Syracuse, and then we were kicking it there on some Atlanta shit, and then we found out that his godmom is best friends with my grandma from way back in the day and shit. So since then, shit, niggas really just been on some homie shit for real, for real. Every time I have a conversation with this nigga, or every time I leave a conversation with this fool, I'm in my Uber, I'm fucking looking up words like pejorative or some shit. Like, this man be dropping jewels, and he did us a favor. He pulled up, well, I pulled up on him, went to his crib. This nigga had a whole Apollo tree stump in that shit. But it was cool though. We chopped it up. We chopped it up a lot about the imagination necessary to achieve and even begin to move in the direction for the utopia that we all want so bad, and how it's gonna take a lot of just thinking in ways we ain't never even thought about, kind of challenging shit that we're so used to, and moving into a space where we can't fuck it up with the shit we already know how to do. You know what I'm saying? But that's about it. With the intro, I'ma just goddamn jump right into the convo with this fool. I appreciate y'all pulling up once again. This is me and HughEP. I'm out and I'm in.
Shut up, Simon.
But that was the vibe, midnight in May. Like, the middle of the darkness, but also the best weather in the month ever. You know what I mean? It's just that kind of, that point. Like, I feel like May is the best month of the year, but people kind of sleep on it. They forget that. People talk a lot about July and the 4th of July and like.
I don't think it's
a sleeper. May is a sleeper, dog.
I don't think anybody's sleeping on it, but I don't think that it is a lot of birthdays in May, like a motherfucker. May cool. May is cool, bro. May is cool, bro. Yeah. And it's named after the Mayans, which you know what I'm saying. We fuck with them.
Yeah, we don't fuck with Mayo. We fuck with the Mayans.
Yeah, we don't fuck with Mayo. Who's Mayo? OJ Mayo, cause I fuck with that nigga. They did him dirty, bro.
Mayonnaise.
Oh nah, yeah, I won't fuck with the Mayo. The Mayos.
OJ Mayo nice though.
Yeah, OJ Mayo cold, bro. They did my nigga dirty, bro.
I know.
Did him dirty, bro. But so you dropped the Midnights in May, and that is a lead up, or is that kind of just like a?
That's a lead up too. So those are more of the, with the exception of, so 3 of those songs are on the album itself. They're kind of the opposite side, the more introspective side of the project. The project's called Hues. It's about, just the different colors of yourself, the components and things that we are an array of, all the light that goes into your life, and just kind of delving into those different colors and radiance of who you are, and then just more so the idea of like, can you harness your light, right? Can you take that and create something out of it? And that's a jumping off of the last project, which is Sugar, which is Hugh's backwards.
Yeah, bro.
Write it down, you'll get it.
I love Sugars, man. That was one. I love that project.
Appreciate that.
To this day,
that's
one of them that can just kind of, you can put it on whenever.
Yeah, and so that project was about, just the idea of how black bodies exist in the Americas at all. Is just, people were shipped here to get the crop of sugar.
Yeah.
Right? And sugar is not an essential good. It's not, something you die without. It's not, it's not an
It's just
essential
something we
item.
want.
It's
like
a luxury good,
bro.
quite literally. And so I feel like that luxury and also the effect of sugar, being put into all of our food, the idea of black people sweetening things for America to digest them, is just all wrapped up in that thought.
This nigga Hugh, bro.
So this project is a follow up to that. It's like, that's the origin story, but this is the transcendence story. Like, what do we do now? What do you do with that? And delving into kind of all those different parts of who you are.
Okay. So, bro, I hate to be some cheesy ass interviewer, nigga. I just want to know, bro, like what you plan to do with this shit, bro?
What do you mean?
Like,
what's the ambition? What's the goal?
Yeah, but I don't even want to, like, yeah, but not. I don't even need something that's concrete as just like, I'm a fucking open up a such and such and such. You know what I'm saying? But just kind of ultimately, what are you striving for, personally? Not even on some just like, I do this shit for my mama, nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? But just like personally.
I think personally, one, it's a self-discovery process first and foremost. Like, it's cathartic. A lot of the times I'll make music and I done heard it 30, 40 times and I'm like, damn, I didn't realize what I was talking to myself about.
Word.
So it's a way of me processing the world, one. I think two, it's my ambition is to ignite that imagination that we were talking about.
Yeah.
It's to take care and courage in trying to, expose myself and be vulnerable enough with myself that, creates new avenues for people to feel like they can express themselves as well or connect with that. And I think because so much of that is tied to me, processing my skills and my talents and who I am in the world, is like, I want that endeavor to be something people can feel connected to, not something that I'm preaching to them. You know what I mean? So I think even just in how, I wouldn't even consider myself somebody who sings a year ago, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, my family don't even know I make music. I've been making music for a long time, but like, just to see
this nigga need to
reaction
come
of
out.
them,
This nigga, you gotta come out.
They're like, yo, yeah, exactly. Like, it's that imagination. It's living that imagination, being an example of that imagination of what is possibly other than for myself as much as for anybody else.
Yeah.
And so it's just been a process of that. Like, vulnerability is, I'm sensitive about my shit. That's all.
And do you feel like you wear that vulnerability? Like, do you know what I'm saying? It just is it some, it's not something you're selective with, but something you just kind of like carry with you? Cause you know what I'm saying, niggas, you know what I'm saying, they'll be vulnerable with their girl,
right,
or their sister.
I feel
you know what I mean?
It depends on the setting. You know what I mean? Like, you hop in the booth, you can be vulnerable in music. You know what I mean? I think even the idea of creating a persona or personage, Simon, You Find Me, or the show,
Right.
These extensions of who we are, they get to be safe spaces for us to get outside of ourselves, be absurd. So like, when I step on stage, I'm putting it all out there. If it's HughEP, you catch me in the street.
Yeah.
I'm not giving you my life story, nigga. Listen to the music. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know you, nigga. You know this fool.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Damn, bro.
I mean, and HughEP is as much a character as you know, any other artist
Yeah.
creation. So
And that's all this shit is, bruh. This the world stage.
precisely.
Damn, nigga.
I also say this, like, and when I say diving into myself, like I'm the type of person. You know, my mom's from Jamaica, my pop's from Chicago. I grew up in Atlanta. You know, I play soccer. I'll be moving around the place all the time. So there was never a place where like I'm from there.
Yeah.
When you go to Atlanta, he's like, nigga, you're not really from here. Like, my family's not from there.
Yeah.
Immigrants, you know what I mean?
I feel
Go to
that.
Chicago, I stay for the summer. I'm not really from there. Go to Jamaica, like, but all that cooking is me. Like, that's my experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
That's the
processing.
soup. This nigga Hugh soup.
Exactly. It's the real shit though. But like
Stew. That's what.
stew.
Yeah, that's
stew
what the
peon
that's
chicken.
what That's what Caribbean niggas be making the stew.
Exactly. But like
The Stewart.
it gave me the privilege of like having the license to step into those worlds authentically, and I had to learn to embrace that after a while. You know what I mean? Like always being other than feels like that's a challenge because you feel disconnected from people. But it's also my ability, my superpower to connect those different things. Because like I tell niggas all the time, like you know, you go to Jamaica, you spend half the summer in Jamaica, half the summer in Chicago, go to Atlanta. Niggas be on the same shit.
Yeah.
Just about no matter where the fuck you at.
Yeah.
Right? Atlanta, Lagos, you know, London, whatever it is. That universal magic of black people, it lives inside of me. But though the cultural nuances of operating in those spaces and what people expect from that are not easy to just hop around in. You know what I mean? Like, so I think the music as much as it's me processing my experience in that, like, that's black people in the Americas and the variations of what that is. And so Hughes is my experience in those different components because I pull all those genres, all those influences into what I'm trying to create. But I also feel like, you know, in music, so much of people's identity is where they're from. You know, what about the people who are from nowhere? The nomads, like the gypsy people, the people who, you know, are refugees and been running around their whole life. It's like,
and I be giving folks shit when they say that.
but how do you give those people a home? You know what I mean? How do you give them a place to feel like their solace and connection and normalcy in that? And that is your identity as much as it is I'm from Atlanta as a person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, it's a lot. It's a lot. That's a lot.
God damn, bro.
But you asked, so I told you.
Yeah. This is what I hope, though. Every show, bro, I just hope that whoever's on that hoe says enough that I ain't got to say shit.
Feel that.
Shut up, Simon, bro. That's where
Shut
that
up,
shit come
Simon.
from. Nigga, like,
Don't
just
wanna
shut up.
talk.
Yeah.
Shut me up.
Shut up, nigga. Let these niggas go in, bro. Shut up, Simon. I'm listening to this nigga.
What about you, though, son? I mean, I've listened to your show, so I've heard you talk about it, but, like, you know, I feel like we've been on a similar path of, like,
Yeah, bro.
inspiring each other. And
Yeah, bro. You one of my biggest, like, you one of the niggas I'm like, bro, Hugh gotta fuck with my shit. Like, I respect your taste level to the point where it's like, some people can be like, you know, they can say whatever. I'm like, whatever, I don't give a fuck. But if I played my shit and he was like, bro, I'm not fucking with this, and I'm like, damn, bro, I done
I appreciate
dropped
that.
the ball on some shit.
I appreciate you valuing my opinion.
And I think it just comes from like, bro, like from just the transition of our relationship. How when you came into school, I was like the OG, or not even the OG. I was just kind of a grade ahead and shit, and it was just on some like, let me show you around, nigga. This nigga from the A and shit, blah blah blah. When you pulled up and was familiar, you know what I'm saying? I knew we were familiar with the same area, familiar with a lot of the same people. Yep. It was kind of like, damn, like I got another nigga who is very similar, who I can just mac on hold with, and just kind of we can just really just take this bitch over together. And then fast forward,
trying to conquer shit.
Yeah, bro, I was on Napoleon. I was out there, goddamn. What's my nigga Genghis? Bro, then the homie Drew pulled up, and it was kind of like from some for real conquering. Then it was like, bet, every year it was like, oh, bet we, you know what I'm saying? Wait till I leave this bitch. I could just leave it to my niggas here, and then graduate. I'm working, and I get out of that working shit. The first place I come is New York, and y'all are here. You know what I'm saying? I go on this crazy shit, lose my mind, go out to Thailand for a year. First place I come back to is y'all crib.
After you hosted Push the Talk.
Yes, bruh.
Simon been in the spotlight, y'all. Don't let him act like he a new host to this shit,
bruh. And even analyzing like little shits like that, the first podcast, Push the Talk type shit, this shit, and just like not even being aware of what I've been striving for the whole time.
Yeah.
But kind of just like, bruh, and I ain't even realized that until I said that shit right now, nigga. Just kind of how all this shit aligned to this very moment right now.
For sure.
And I had no clue of any of that shit. And it was you. It was being at y'all crib. Our conversations, bruh, that gave me a lot of just this sense of direction. And just this idea that, nigga, you can do it. Whatever it is, nigga, but you got to find that shit and do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know what you do. You know what you're good at. Every single one of us praises you for this. You know what I'm saying? We've created this stage for you to do this. But at the time, nigga, I just didn't see that shit at all because I was just stuck in this place. And it's just in this place of like, what am I doing? Mm-hmm. Just caught up in what am I doing and didn't really just see what I was doing. And it was seeing you go from so it was you seeing me go from that shit, and then me seeing you go from school. My nigga soccer player came in this hoe, soccer player phenom on the hose. Everybody was just like, who this nigga Hugh from Atlanta? Who this nigga? And I was even like, bro, who is this?
Y'all all my business right now.
Nah, when I say on the hose, whoever's listening, I just for the record. Nah, but it was just on some like I had to, you know what I'm saying, see what's up.
Yeah.
And then I graduate. This nigga Hugh graduates, and then this nigga Hugh's working this whack ass job. But I'm staying with this nigga. I'm staying at this nigga crib, and I gotta see this nigga Hugh, who to me is the nigga with all the shit together. And not even so much together, because niggas never have it together, but niggas just have some sense of direction. And you was probably the nigga who I knew with the most direction. Not so much a clear vision, but niggas knew where they was going. It was like on some like, I see land, you know what I'm saying? I know land is this way, but I don't know which land it's gonna be.
North. We know we going north. We don't know where north, but we going north.
You feel me?
I feel that.
And so just kind of seeing that and being around that shit and just seeing how that influenced the whole crib from me on the couch to everybody else in that house. Because there was an environment of like, we all chilling. We all live together as homies. What else could we ask for?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was, bro, you was the one in the crib who was just like, yeah, it's cool. I love y'all niggas. But what we doing right here, bro? I ain't finna be getting into my 30s and living with y'all niggas, and this is just what we go. And then we make a sitcom about this.
Right.
Still doing it.
I feel you.
You know what I'm saying? I want to make the sitcom after this, nigga. I don't want to be living the sitcom.
Yeah. I feel that. It's really interesting to hear you say that just from your perspective. Because from my perspective, like, that like what we on shit is also my biggest challenge, right? It's also me, like, never being fully happy with shit and, like, the thing that is always like, what you really doing? Like, what you really on?
Yeah, bro.
Like, and I think what I knew in terms of you saying going in the direction was that I got some really talented ass homies. You know what I mean? I see the people around me who I value their relationship. I value their brain. I see what they're doing in the world. And we have this shared experience of going to school together. Because, I mean, to be honest with you, I don't keep a big circle. You know what I mean? I have a few group of friends. That's what I fuck with. It's, you know, I have new friends, but like for the most part, I hold that circle really tightly. And that's not to say I'm not friendly with people, but it's just like I understand the value of the people around me, and I understand the way they value me. So I'm gonna invest in that. And so it was more so, you know, how do I try and create a infrastructure where we can get the best out of each other? You know what I mean? And I was motivated by the talent around me, but I was more motivated by the idea that we could do something bigger than ourselves. You know what I mean? And that was that's really what pushed me. Is like, we not only are we privileged enough to have the access to the places that we're in, but we have the responsibility because we have the ability to respond to the things that we see in our day to day.
Just hit us with the y'all ain't even hear that. Y'all ain't even sitting right here in front of this nigga. That shit just hit me, nigga, like Holyfield, nigga.
And that's what I've been feeling a lot lately. Is like, you know, the privilege of having the imagination, the privilege of having this foundation, this network, these elders and connection to people who have asked the same of me, right? Like, to do better, to ask more questions, to strive for something more is just something I can't escape from, because that was what I pulled out of my personal experience, right? My grandfather coming to America from Jamaica, he worked on Magic Kingdom. He was one of the engineers. So in a lot of ways, he engineered what we see as the quote unquote American dream in a lot of ways.
The imagination.
And I take responsibility for that, because I know that along the way he had to decide, I'm leaving this country where I got all this shit, all these connections, this family, this established whatever, to go try something different.
Yeah.
And if I don't live in that, it's a waste.
Yeah, bro. Niggas out here wasting their life, bro.
And their talent.
Yeah,
you know?
and talent mainly. No life lived is wasted.
Exactly.
But
Facts.
niggas is wasting talents though.
For sure.
Wasting just gifts, bro. On some bullshit. But that's what this whole shit is about. That's what I hope that every episode of this show does, is just kind of emphasize the idea of self-expression, or what you call it as honing your light, harnessing your light, bro. I fuck with that.
I like that.
I fuck with that a lot, bro.
What was I saying?
Race is so strict.
Oh, that's the thing. Is like, people have been given so many boxes to check on so many pieces of paper for the eternity of their life, that you take them boxes off the page, people start freaking the fuck out.
Yeah, but only select boxes though.
Just remove all the boxes off the page.
Yeah, and then niggas will go crazy.
People start going crazy. They think it's chaos. They think it's demise. They think it's a world without sovereignty, and it's like, no, like, there's something stronger than all of those boxes. Just love a motherfucker. It ain't that hard.
Bruh. That's it, bruh. Just love a motherfucker.
But
it ain't that
that
hard.
would require you to love yourself, and a lot of people don't have that right as it is. So that's the challenge.
That's the challenge, bro. Just love yourself, bro. Appreciate you pulling up, dog.
I got a question. I got a question for you.
Oh, what's
I
up?
appreciate you pulling up, bro. First and foremost, I appreciate you for supporting my art monetarily.
For sure.
On record saying that. You know, what would you say to the people who don't have the benefit of that, are disillusioned, you know, live in this world of misinformation? You know, what would you say to them right now? What do you tell them?
I would just say, bro, I would say only consume information from a physical book. Cause I'm not going, cause I'm at the point where I'm like, nigga, just stop consuming any information. Like, at this point, bro, niggas consuming so much information that it's some information overload shit. Like, we're freaking out. We don't even know how to articulate it back to people. Like, we're misinforming people on the misinformation that we got. So it's just a fucking cesspool of just lies and angles. And so my thing is, bro, read a book, because
the effort required to even create a book is enough.
Yes,
critical thought,
and it's a concrete thought. It can't be edited. You know what I'm saying? Like, if a nigga said this, he can't come back out and be like, well, you know, I updated this article. You know what I'm saying?
I deleted them tweets.
Yeah, bro. Like, fuck that. Like,
yeah.
And the shit that goes into books, bro, isn't. And my whole thing with books is, it's not like I wrote this book for. Like, publishing companies aren't out here like news publications. Like, with all the articles on this one fucking newspaper are gonna have some sort of tilt.
Right.
Books are an independent thinking. You know what I'm saying? Nigga just thought this, wrote it in a book, put it out.
Right.
So you don't even got to too much agree with that shit.
There's no comment section.
Yeah. There's no comment section. There's no. Oh, this is a Simon and Simon book.
Right.
This is gonna be a little. You know what I'm saying? Penguin published this one. This one gonna be a little.
It's a reader.
Yeah, you feel me? So my thing is just like I would just tell niggas to really read books and stop fucking reading the news and watching the news and shit, and don't even watch Twitter and Instagram, bro, because that shit is becoming just as filthy as the news.
Yeah, man. Books. They never run out of power.
Bro, never. And it just my whole thing is just,
what you're reading needs a power source. Turn it off for a little while.
bro. And yeah, just turn it off and just and formulate your own thinking. Take what you take. If you gonna read all this information, at least try to goddamn paint a different picture with it.
What do you think?
Yes. What do you think? What do you think?
Not what does it say.
Exactly, bro. What do you think? Not
Correct.
what does it say? That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Because right now, dog, I'm just like, bro, my girl, bro, she gonna get mad at me for telling the story, nigga. But I don't give a fuck. Nigga. I was pissed off.
I will add to that though. After, what do you think? After you answer that question, then ask why.
Why? Because
That's the third question.
Because, bro, everything that's coming out right now is.
Just ask yourself why. Why do you think that's? The
Oh,
case?
yes.
That's all.
That was He ain't asking me. Word.
No, not literally why.
Word. Yeah, bro. Just ask why.
Yeah.
Just ask why
He ain't
somebody wrote
asking
this.
me.
Bro, all I'm saying is, bro, just ask yourself why. Yeah, why somebody wrote this? Why would somebody feel like this? Why is this going on? Just ask more questions than what.
Ask yourself why.
Ask more questions than what. Ask more than how. Just ask all the questions. I'm not saying don't ask no questions. I'm just saying ask more questions.
Right.
Niggas just always want to know what happened. That's it, bro. What happened?
True.
Niggas don't want to know what shit. Why he do that shit?
Yeah. Even the response got what happened was in it.
Bruh.
Shut up, Simon.